Oh, wow, my man.
It's the spoiled king, better than diamond rings. Football,
Wildcats.
football,
Wildcats.
football,
Wildcats.
football,
Wildcats.
football.
Welcome to the Married with Picks podcast, season 6, episode 12, week 12.
Wildcats.
So, I don't know about you, but I had a pretty good week last week after I shifted my opinion on the Steelers and the Bills, thanks to you. Now, I know that we were on the same side of a lot of games last week, but I think the sides we were different on went in my favor, like the Chiefs, Broncos, for example. So, all right, on to week 12. We have 4 teams on bye week this week. Broncos, Chargers, Dolphins, Commanders. First game up. No more overseas games, thank God, because that was the one time I bet an international game. It was a horrible game.
You weren't good at picking those.
It was still the right side. They just fucked it up,
It's only the right side if it wins.
I suppose. Especially when you're dealing with shitty teams. But, okay. So, first game up this week is the Colts at the Chiefs. Chiefs are 3.5-point favorites. Chiefs are 5-5 on the season after losing to the Broncos last week. So they obviously desperately need the win. Of course, they desperately needed the win last week, and they couldn't do it. Colts are 8-2 coming off a bye. Chiefs have not covered or won a one-score game this year, whereas last year I believe they were always winning those. Now, the one concern we have in this game is that coming off the bye, Daniel Jones popped up on the injury report with a calf injury yesterday, Thursday. So that's never good when he's not injured, and now all of a sudden he's got an injury 2 days, 3 days before the game. Reports, I believe from Ian Rappaport, were that it is not cause for concern. But I am not 100% sold on that. Seems like a lot of people are on the Chiefs in this one. I got to take the Colts, especially with the hook.
So it's Riley Leonard if Daniel Jones can't go. Are you familiar with the works of one Riley Leonard?
I am not.
Oh, okay. He's the Notre Dame quarterback. He's pretty good. He was good in college. But I don't know how he would translate into the NFL, but that would be interesting. He's a rookie. They'd be in trouble going into Arrowhead.
One other interesting note I wanted to mention. So the defensive coordinator for the Colts this year is Lou Anarumo, who is formerly the defensive coordinator for the Bengals. And the Bengals were one team that when it came to the playoffs in years past, they seemed to do a pretty good job defending Patrick Mahomes.
Like you got to look at this game as if Daniel Jones is playing. If Daniel Jones is not playing, then throw it all out the window. But if Daniel Jones is playing, I like the Colts as well. I mean, they're coming off a bye. They've had 2 weeks to prepare for Andy Reid and the Chiefs. And I don't believe the Chiefs are as good as they've been over the last 4 years.
Yeah, everybody's still like, oh, the Chiefs, the Chiefs, the Chiefs. But I haven't seen it.
No, I agree. I mean, and that they're coming back. You know, I think they've played a couple of poor teams.
Oh, well, geez, all they got to do is win one game and they're back.
Yeah, well, everybody's on the bandwagon, right? They've probably earned it over the last couple of years. But, I mean, the Colts are 5-1 straight up in their last 6. They're getting points here, right? So the line doesn't matter with that stat. So it's good. 5-1 in their last 6 straight up. 14-5 against the spread in their last 19 versus Kansas City. So historically in this matchup, the Colts have prevailed when you're looking at the spread.
Yeah, Mahomes is 1-2 against the Colts in his career too.
Yeah.
The one thing this would be the first time, I guess, maybe since Patrick Mahomes took over, that the Chiefs would lose 3 games in a row if they lose this one.
That's tough. But they can win and still lose the bet, right?
That is correct.
And that's why that's the angle I'm really taking on this game. It's 3.5 right now, and I love it.
Yeah,
with
they
the
can
extra
blow
hook.
anybody out.
Yeah, KC's 0-7.
Other than the Raiders, maybe.
Yeah. Yep. KC's 0-7 in their last 7 against the spread in November. It stretches back to last year, but you know, that's the exact opposite of what Andy Reid has historically done in November, especially with the Eagles. He was They were rounding into form and would rarely lose games in November. I mean, rarely. I mean, they would go like 3 years in a row without losing a game. But oh, how mighty they're fallen, and this year is not the same Chiefs Andy Reid unit that we've seen in years past. I'm taking the Colts.
All right, we wasted enough time in that game. Next game up is the Patriots at the Bengals. Now, this line was 7.5. It is down to 5.5.
Okay.
I assume because of news that apparently they are anticipating that Joe Burrow starts this game. Now, he just came back. They opened the 21-day practice window last week, and they're anticipating him starting this game. I assume they feel like their playoff lives are on the line, and they need him back to hopefully win some games. Now, I don't know that you can blame Joe Flacco for any of the losses that they've suffered, and I don't know if Joe Burrow, in his first game, after 1 week of practice, after having foot surgery, is any better of an answer. Now, they are also going to be without Jamar Chase because sometimes people just don't learn. After the spitting incident week 1 with the Eagles, he decided to spit on Jalen Ramsey and then deny it when there was clear video evidence that he did it. So he's not going to play. The defense isn't going to play because they never seem to on the Bengals side of the ball.
It's the worst defense ever.
And
they were bad last year.
They will be without Trey Hendrickson again this week. Patriots are 6-2 against the spread in their last 8 games. The fact that this line went down and the fact that it's going to be Burrow in his first game back after 1 week of practice, I'm going to take the Patriots.
I'm going to take the Patriots as well. New England 7-1 against the spread in their last 8, 6-0 against the spread in their last 6 on the road, and 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 versus Cincy.
I mean, I would almost like this better with Flacco, or I would like it less with Flacco.
Well, I like the fact that Barrow's coming back, so the line is coming down further. It stays underneath 7.
It was 8.5 at some point.
Yeah, and the Patriots have just been on fire. If you haven't been playing them, I mean, the Patriots, and I've made a mistake of going against them a couple times here recently, but they're just on fire against the spread.
And as bad as the Bengals defense is, Patriots are going to be able to move the ball. It's a matter of can the Bengals offense keep up, specifically without Chase? I don't know.
Yeah. And I think you got to fight the urge to want to cheer for Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow is a very likable guy, right? I'm even looking at this game, and I want them to win this game. I don't think it's going to happen, but for them to get back into the playoff mix, they got to start winning games. There's not much left. They have 6 left. Some teams still have buys that they're chasing, and only have 5 games left. But they have 6 games left. They're 3-7. They're chasing the 5-5 Ravens and the 6-4 Steelers. So the scenario here would be, most likely the Steelers lose, bring down to 6-5. The Ravens win. They're playing the Jets. I mean, they're not going to lose that game. They go to 6-5, and if the Bengals win, they're 4-7. So they're still 2 games back on top of the division. So they've got a lot. Even if they win this game, the point is even if they win this game, they have a lot of ground to make up. So I don't know that they're even playing for the playoffs at this point. And mathematically, they're still.
Well, there would be no reason to bring Burrow back.
No, and let's be clear on this. Like, he is playing. Flacco's not playing. He's taken 100% of the snaps on Thursday. With Flacco not practicing Wednesday and then suiting up to practice Thursday, and they still gave Burrow 100% of the snaps, which means they're prepping him to play. They're not going to waste time giving him 100% of the snaps if he wasn't going to play.
Okay. Yep. All right. Next game is the Steelers at the Bears. Bears are 2.5-point favorites. Bears just keep rolling out the wins. They won again last week against the Vikings. Do we know whether Aaron Rodgers is starting for the Steelers or not?
I don't think he's playing.
You don't think he's playing?
I can make a double check, but.
So if it's not him, it would be Mason Rudolph. I mean, he's seemed capable.
He's questionable. I don't think he's definitely out yet.
Yeah, I don't think so either. It's his left wrist, not his right wrist. In his time with the Packers, he did historically own the Bears. I'm not sure that sentiment transfers over here at this point in his career. But I would take the points with the Steelers in this one, regardless.
I mean, he might play here, but I would not expect. I was expecting him not to play.
Do you think he really wants Mason Rudolph to come in and get a win?
Oh, no, he doesn't want to, but he's got a fractured wrist. I know it's his non-throwing hand, but, I mean, if he does play, how long is he going to last? I mean, he's going to Chicago. They're going to hit him. I don't know. I almost like their chances, the Steelers' chances, better if Rudolph is the quarterback. But, because Mason Rudolph, at least, will have to give him a chance. Like, Aaron Rodgers has been unimpressive, and he's getting worse as the season goes. So, Pittsburgh's 1-6 in their last 7 against the spread on the road. 1-5 in their last 6 versus Chicago. Chicago 6-2 against the spread in their last 8. This is all against the spread.
I don't like taking the Bears as a favorite.
I don't like taking the Bears at all, but and I really do think you got to wait and see who's playing quarterback here. There's an argument to make with Mason Rudolph in my mind if he's the quarterback and the Steelers kind of rally behind him. But I think it's the Bears here.
Okay, different sides of that one. All right, next game is the Jets at the Ravens. Ravens are 13.5-point favorites in this one. It will be Tyrod Taylor starting for the Jets in this one. Jets are actually 4-1 in their last 5 games against the spread. They have had 500 total passing yards in those 5 games. So I assume that stat comes only because they're significant underdogs in those games. Ravens have piled up 4 wins since their struggles early in their bye week. They have also held teams to under 19 points in those 4 wins. You can certainly run on the Jets, so this might be a big Derrick Henry game. It's a big line. I mean, I hate to take big lines like this because anything can happen. Even if they're dominating early, there's garbage time. So, but I don't think there's any doubt that the Ravens get the victory here, and I'm not against taking the 13.5.
I mean, there's no Garrett Wilson, right? He's out for a couple of weeks here. It's Tyrod Taylor throwing to John Michie III, who they just got from the Eagles in a trade. Adonai Mitchell.
Wasn't he with Houston?
And Isaiah Williams, yeah. The Eagles traded for him from Houston, and then a couple of weeks later traded him for a cornerback from the Jets.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Pick.
I haven't picked yet, but it's a big line, so it scares me a little bit, but I'm going to take the Ravens. They're playing at home. They need the win. If they win here, Steelers lose, they're tied for the division lead. I think the Ravens just keep rolling. The Jets are too bad, even though Tyrod Taylor might give them a little bit of juice in the first quarter, second quarter. I look for that juice to wear off by the time we come out of halftime, and Baltimore should start extending the lead.
All right. Next game is the Seahawks at the Titans. This game is also Seahawks 13.5. Titans lost Calvin Ridley again last week, this time I believe for the season. The Seahawks almost came back and won last week, literally like 3 more fucking yards because Sean McVay can't be trusted to keep his foot on the gas. Darnold did, it seems, see some ghosts last week, throwing 4 interceptions in that one. But I think this is a good spot for the Seahawks to get back on track. They have played very well on the road against bad teams. So I don't see any reason not to think they do the same here. And those couple games that they played against bad teams on the road, they were up like 28-0 in the first quarter. So I look for a similar game plan here for them to cover the 13.5.
I'm going to go on the other side here for the Titans. I just think that the media has been waiting to jump all over Sam Darnold, and they finally did after he threw 4 picks last week, and the rest of the team had to come to his defense. But I think that this is still Sam Darnold, the old Sam Darnold, and I think he's going to have problems flying across the country and going and beating up on the Titans. I don't think they'll lose the game, but 13.5, 14 points is a lot of points on the road. I'm going to take the Titans and just hold my nose.
Okay. Well, you'll know in the first quarter which way it's going to go, I think.
Well, the defense, if they do some stupid stuff, like intercept award for some touchdowns. That's what seems like they've, you alluded to them jumping up big early on the prior games. There's a lot of defensive touchdowns. Special teams has worked well. So hopefully the Titans can lock that up and keep it close.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Next game is the Giants at the Lions. The Lions obviously coming off the tough loss in Philly on Sunday night. However, coming off of a loss, Dan Campbell and Jared Goff have played very well in the next game. This is also going to be at home versus a not so good team. They are 12-0 after a loss, and most of those victories are actually, I think it's 13-0 now. Most of those victories have come by double-digit points. I'm not 100% sure who the starting quarterback for the Giants is going to be in this one, whether it's Jackson Dart coming back from the concussion or Jameis Winston. I don't care either way, and I do think if it is Jackson Dart, there's going to be, and I heard on the radio that they actually had a meeting with him about his running, because his running is what got him the concussion. Their season, obviously, this year is probably lost. So you're certainly looking to the future there. So without that running, I don't know, and his, lack of weapons around him there, I don't know how the Giants would find a path to victory in this one.
I don't know how they'll find a path for victory, but I see this like being like maybe a backdoor Jameis Winston to keep it within, 2 digits.
What if it's Jackson Dart?
I like him even more. So if it's Jackson Dart, I like him even more to keep it inside 10.5,
Okay.
which I see the line now. I like Tyron
I'd like
Tracy.
to get it under 10, but
I like Devon Singletary. I think it gives him a good 1-2 punch, even with Scatterboo out. Giants are 4-2 against the spread in their last 6 games. Look at them to keep rolling that, make it 5-2 against the spread. I like the Giants. 84% of the money is
that
on
is the one,
the Lions.
And that when I looked it up, this is the only game where there's a significant amount of money right now on one side. But we had the same situation like 2 weeks ago with the Lions where they lost, and it was, should we do it or not? Because the money's all there. Vegas can't fix every fucking game, so they got to give us one here or there.
Yeah, all the money's on the line, so that's one of the big reasons I'm going to go on the Giants. But there's also another game that's close to similar discrepancy.
Well, I didn't even bother with that one, but I see what you got there.
Yeah, talk about it in a minute. It's coming up.
All right, next game is the Vikings at the Packers. Packers are 6.5-point favorites. This is a division game. So where did I write it down? I usually write it down. So both, it's Packer. Oh, I don't know. Okay, Green Bay, only one win in the last 2 years against Vikings. I was kind of surprised by that.
Head-up matchup, is that what you were looking for?
In the division matchup, yeah. And both those games, both their games last year were a 2-point margin of victory. Now, the Vikings did not fare very well last week, and the headline after the game was that the Vikings made a mistake with J.J. McCarthy. So he did not show well last week against the Bears. This is division.
Shocker.
They did beat the Lions 2 weeks ago, so they could put it out there for this one.
Number 9's no good.
Now, my question is this line too big? Because last week, the Bears played the Vikings at the Vikings. The Vikings were 2.5-point favorites. Now we have the Vikings at the Packers, and the Packers are 6.5-point favorites?
Yes, I think it's too big. I think they want you to take the Packers.
They want me to take the Vikings.
They want you to take the Vikings.
Which means take the Packers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my cause for concern in this one, because I was going to take the Vikings. But then when I started questioning the line, that puts me on the Packers. So I'm not 100% sure. I have to look at this one a little bit more. But that's probably, if the line's off, then you got to go Packers, bottom line.
Well, I don't want to talk you out of anything, but I'm going the other way. I'm going on the Vikings. Green Bay's 1-7 in their last 8 against the spread, so they're not hot playing against the number. They're giving up a lot of points here, so I could easily see where the Packers win and the Vikings keep the number inside 6.5. I'm not a big fan of number 9. Have you heard that's his alter ego? He talks to about himself in the third person as number 9.
I didn't know who that. I heard talk about 9. And I was
J.J. McCarthy's an idiot.
Okay.
So I'm not a big fan of that guy, but I think in this position, a division game, getting almost a touchdown here, I like the Vikings to keep it close.
Well, that was my initial thought. Flores defense.
Yeah, exactly.
But if the line's
I'm
wrong,
not impressed with Green Bay. I mean, again, they're 1-7 against the spread in their last 8.
I know, but
They have not looked
if
good.
the line is wrong, then it doesn't matter what you think.
Well, they inevitably they won 50% of the money. I know we talk about,
And right
Vegas
now the
wanted to
money,
go a
and that's
different
what
way.
threw me off last week because I thought the line was wrong in the Steelers Bengals, but the money wasn't split significantly on the Bengals. So that's what threw me off. And it's the same situation here. Steelers won last week. Same thing with the Bills game. So
all right, well, so like it opened at 3.5 and is now at 6.5. So it is they want you to take the Vikings, but people are betting the Packers, the line's up. So I think they're just going to keep moving it up until they start getting action on the Vikings. I think you take the Vikings. That's where it's at now. 6.5. They build it too much. I think 3.5 is probably the right line.
yeah, but
Maybe
that's
not
like
even.
the
Could be
look
a
ahead,
3-point game.
not the open, right?
That's the opening.
I'm pretty sure that's the look ahead.
I'll look you ahead.
All right, but anyway, if you think the line's right, then take the Vikings. If you think the line's wrong, take the Packers.
Who are you taking?
I'm not sure yet. I haven't figured out how I feel about this line, but
Okay,
that's
we're
what I'm
doing
going
the
to do.
podcast now. What do you mean you're not sure yet?
Most likely,
Okay.
if I determine,
Just
if
busting
I'm
your sense.
confident that the line is wrong, I'm going Packers.
Okay. I was busting your stones.
Okay.
Trying to fire you up a little bit. Get a little passion out
I
of you.
gave very clear advice on what the watching public should do with this game. Okay. All right.
Don't
now,
forget to like or subscribe.
next game is the Browns at the Raiders. Raiders are 3.5-point favorites. This is two shit teams playing each other. Shador Sanders is finally going to get to start a game in the NFL. He was not good coming in relief last week. He will have a full week of practice under his belt. Unfortunately, the Browns defense is awesome, but they seem to only be awesome when they play at home. This game is on the road. Raiders offensive line is horrible. Geno couldn't do much last week against the Cowboys. I cannot take the Raiders as a 3-point favorite, but I can't trust the Browns on the road with a rookie quarterback. I would not. And people
all
are
the
talking
money?
about this game.
Why is all the money on the Browns?
I don't know. And people are talking about this like this is one of their best bets of the week. Like, you couldn't pay me to put my money on that game. Sorry.
Are they talking about the best bet is the Browns?
I don't even know because I just stopped listening.
I think you got to go against Shador Sanders.
That means you're taking the Raiders as a 3.5-point favorite, though.
I don't think
Right?
it
Like, isn't that
matters.
generally like what you would
like
say?
82% of the money. I think it's just
It always matters in the end.
But I don't know. I guess
I've done it and it was a mistake.
I guess there's two lines here, right? And people who are on the Shador Sanders side get really fucking pissed. Like there's something else going on or some conspiracy that he's not getting an opportunity, which I get it. If you're like, and you think the guy's going to be good, you think
but
that he
isn't
would
it-
get a shot, but I don't know.
I mean, like conventional wisdom is that coming up from college, you need time. Like you can't get thrown into the NFL. So by not
Especially
having
with
him
this
start
offensive
is
line.
not a bad thing.
Well, this offensive line's horrible too. The kid can't do anything if he's.
Well, I don't know
doesn't have the
that
time.
their offensive line is that bad. They have no weapons.
Well, let's just say if it's not like you do have to give people time to develop, right? Obviously. But if he struggles against the Raiders, who are one of the worst teams in the NFL, is it
Well, and apparently I did
convincing
hear
to
today
say he's
that
not good?
I think he thought that the Raiders were going to draft him. So this would be a good like revenge narrative for him playing against the Raiders.
I wonder why they didn't draft him. Tom Brady come in and say,
Well, wasn't there like questions about some stuff he said in his interviews?
I mean, there's
Attitude, I guess.
all kinds of stuff with this kid's interviews. I don't know. I think definitely part of the problem is, as much as I love Deion Sanders, is that, he had a different upbringing. One to maybe when he should have been a little more humble, I think he was a little more cocky, and that probably rubbed people wrong in front offices and took him off the draft list. Who the hell knows? I mean, at the end of the day, if he can play, he can play. And if he can play,
Well,
and he
if
can
anybody
prove it,
thought he
he's
would
gonna
play, they wouldn't care about the attitude.
Exactly. He's going to get a chance to play. And if he can do it, he's going to get more opportunities. So I'm really, honestly, I used to be really against Shador Sanders. at least in college and coming out in the draft. And now I'm like, well, just let him have a chance and let him decide what his fate's going to be.
Okay, but so because I just dismissed this game because I'm not going to bet this game. So I did see where the money split was. I didn't write it down because it's irrelevant to me.
82% of the
is on
cash
who?
is on Cleveland.
Okay.
83% of the bets, 82% of the cash. So it's a pretty even split there between the number of bets and cash.
Well, I mean, that's like conventional wisdom. Two shitty teams take the points, right?
Yeah. But two shitty teams and, 82% of the money's on one team, it should be more evened out. So, Geno Smith.
I don't know. I kind of tried that last week with the Raiders and it didn't work. So I'm not going to do it again.
Part of the problem is
Monday night of all things.
Geno Smith's very inconsistent. And he's been consistently bad over the last 3 or 4 games. So Cleveland's got a decent defense, but I think he should have some success here. I mean, I really like the fact that they went out and got Tyler Lockett. I don't know if he's too old. I don't know if Geno Smith's too old, but they haven't. I mean, they've given him
They got me on some prop bets a couple times.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. I'm going at him to score the first touchdown again. He's going to do it eventually, so I think I'm just going to keep playing.
Well, the Cowboys game was wide open in the middle of the field on one of those early drives.
We're talking 30-1 odds they got on him to score the first touchdown. I did it last week and
I'm just fighting out 30 yards.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Raiders here.
All right. Next game is the Jaguars at the Cardinals. Jaguars are 2.5-point favorites in this one. Now, this is probably my favorite game of the week. We're actually getting into all my favorite games here. And this is just going to be a spot play. Jags won last week, 35-6 over the Chargers. I kind of ended up there. I don't know that I was there at the time of the podcast, but that was a spot play. Now, on the other side, and in that game, Trevor Lawrence only had 150 passing yards. They ran the ball over 40 times. Cardinals, on the other side, are coming off 2 big losses, 44-22, something in that range, both games. Jonathan Gannon, obviously defensive-minded coach. I'm not a fan of Trevor Lawrence, so any chance I get to go against him, I'm happy to do that. I think this is a spot play on the Cardinals for sure. Home dog.
I mean, I'm right there with you. Home dog, getting 2.5. Jacksonville's not that great. Arizona's 8-1 against the spread in their last 9 versus the AFC opponents.
And I think there were some stats about the Jaguars on the road too.
One thing I really like about this though is that Jacksonville, there's like 60% of the bets are on Jacksonville, and it's very close, but it's 48%, less than 50%.
Yeah,
right?
if anything, I mean the public will be on the Jags because they just see the box score 35-6 over the Chargers, who most people would consider a good team.
So there's a shift between the number of bets. They're looking for discrepancies between the number of bets and the amount of money, right? And seeing if there's stacked up with the number of bets on one side, but there's more money on the other side. It tells you that the sharp money is going towards the Cardinals.
All right.
So we'll take the Cardinals.
All right. I'm glad we agree on that one. Next game is the Falcons at the Saints. Saints are 1.5-point favorites now. This is a division game. These teams have split over the last 2 years with the home team winning each. Now, Michael Penix is out for the season. Drake London also out for this game. Kirk Cousins did not look good in the previous game that he started. I don't know what to expect from him here. This is just, again, 2 bad teams playing each other. Saints are coming off the bye. Falcons have played well as a dog. I think they're only technically a dog here because of Penix being out and Cousins getting the start, though. So I'm not going to put anything on this game.
I like the Saints for a couple reasons. Really, main one is just the fact that they've had a week to prepare here for the shitty-ass Falcons. And the other one is that I'm off the Kirk Cousins bandwagon. I'll never be on Kirk Cousins bandwagon again in my life. Hopefully he only has the rest of this season to put on a football jersey. But I think it's reason enough to go against the Falcons. I think Cousins is just collecting the paycheck. He doesn't want anything to do with playing. He's the most disappointed person to realize that Penix was going to miss this game. So he's out for the rest of the year. So now Cousins has to grind it out for the next 5 or 6 weeks before he probably will go right off into the sunset and retire.
Hopefully.
I'm going to take the Saints.
I think him and Aaron Rodgers both need to do that before they're Rodgers
Tyler Schroe,
an extra
week to prepare. Hopefully he can put something together here.
All right. Next game is the Eagles at the Cowboys. Eagles are 3.5-point favorites.
This is one of your favorite plays, isn't it?
Yes, it is. This is a division game. These teams played back in week 1. Eagles ultimately won that game 24-20. That was the weird game with the very long rain delay, and there were no points scored after that.
I was there.
You were. But the Cowboys were competitive there. Now, the Eagles won both these games last year, but that was not Dak Prescott in those games. Any of the games where the Eagles and the Cowboys have played where Dak has been the quarterback, they have been very competitive games. Dak Prescott also very much better at home. So they did get some guys back on defense last week. I think it showed in the Raiders game. So just a spot play division matchup. Got to take the home dog Cowboys here.
Yeah, I was just thinking, do you think we could apply and get press credentials? Like,
excuse
in
me?
Philly, could we get press credentials based off the podcast?
Yeah, okay.
We'll just try to submit that next year and see what happens.
Maybe you should ask your buddy. Is he still
Yeah, Drew?
Yeah.
Yeah, he does. Shout out to Drew DeLuca. Does a lot of fantasy write-ups for some major outlets covering fantasy football.
What would you do with press credentials?
Well, first of all, my first thought in my head was I could not drink when I go to the games, so that might be out right away. But if I got press credentials, first of all, you could probably go down on the sideline so you can watch from the sideline for a little bit. You know, I'd want to sit up in my seats with my friends. I could do that for like maybe a quarter.
Get you and your friends some better seats down low.
Well, yeah. And then the other thing I was thinking about was like getting in the locker room and asking some questions.
Oh, God.
Get right in the middle of this AJ Brown thing. Find out exactly what's going on.
I want to ask AJ Brown a couple questions.
Well, probably the move would be to go to like a third receiver and say, what are you seeing? What is your opinion? Because he's probably getting this from both of the receivers, like Smith, AJ Brown, and he's probably observing what Hurts is doing. Anyway.
Who's your pick on this game? Because
I'm going Cowboys as much as it pains me.
Yeah, see, now I hate
that's
kind of the one ding against this whole pick, because
I'm picking.
I feel like you're reverse psychologying it here, and anytime you do that, it always works out to the Eagles' advantage.
All right, here's the deal. It's 3.5. It's too many points on the road. The Eagles are playing with fire. You know, they've played tight games against the Rams. They played tight games over the last 2 weeks against Detroit and Green Bay, and it just looks like they're gonna have to falter. There's a lot of turmoil or drama going on in the locker room.
Everybody knows that. All right, we gotta move this along because I'm afraid this thing's gonna die. We're down to 2 bars, and 2 bars it just goes boop out of nowhere.
The Eagles are 1-6
No
against the spread in their last 7 in Dallas. Sharp money's on the Cowboys. I will take the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Right. Good. Next game is the Bucks at the Rams. Rams are 6.5-point favorites. Last week I made the mistake of taking Sean McVay as a 3-point favorite, and he did exactly what I feared he would do. He acted like he had like a 4-score margin of victory going when it was like 1. And literally, if Seattle had like 3 more yards, they could have kicked that field goal and won the game. So I am not taking Sean McVay as a 6.
Isn't that the whole strategy? I mean, he's running the ball to eat up the timeouts.
No, not like at the beginning of the fourth quarter.
At the very end,
like you.
What his strategy paid off. They ran out of 3 yards of field.
No, listen, like Darnold throws an interception, right? They get the ball back. He runs it 3 times. This is like the beginning of the fourth quarter. He runs it 3 times and gives the ball right back. They're winning by like 8 points. Like, you got to do something. Like, move the ball 10. All you need is 10 yards. Kick a field goal. That puts you up 2 scores.
Maybe he's trying to make his team tough by running the ball, telling the offensive line to get out there and knock somebody on their ass. It just didn't work. I kind of like that mentality.
He's very like cautious and safe. So you can't play that way. You can't play that way and win by 7 points. So I'm taking the Bucs.
I'm taking the Rams.
I hope they get Bucky Irving back this week. I'm not 100%. I think he's trending that direction. Chris Godwin too. I don't know if that makes a difference. Like these other receivers, they're like the Calvin Ridley receivers. Like they can look great when you got Mike Evans on the other side of the field, but when you're the number one and you're getting covered,
Tez Johnson.
they can't catch a ball. Well, I'm not a Buka guy. Like
Yeah.
he had some good games early, but that was when Mike Evans was on the other side of the
I'm waiting
field.
for Tez Johnson to break out too. He's got a lot of speed, so
So-
they can go long. But I like the Rams here. I'll give you a couple numbers to think about. The Bucks in the last 11 games against the spread versus the Rams, they're 1-9-1. I'll say it again. The Bucks are 1-9-1 against the spread in their last 11 versus the Rams. The Rams are 4-1 in their last 5 games against the spread. I'm going to take the Rams here.
Are these teams in the same conference?
They're in the same conference, different division.
I know divisions. I don't know conferences.
Same conference.
I was going to say something. Now, this is kind of like Baker Mayfield started that one game for the Rams. And that was kind of maybe the difference on his career still existing and not. So he might want to show up in this game too.
Yep.
All right. And then the final game
Good point.
final game of the week is we're on different sides of a lot of these games, I think.
Yeah, I think so. We have to go back and tally these up, make sure.
Final game of the week, Monday night, Panthers at 49ers. 49ers are 7-point favorites. Now, this is another one where it's like, is the line too high? Because we think the Panthers are a bad team, but they're 6-5. 49ers are 7-4. Like, why are the Niners 7-point favorites? So if the line is too high, that means take the 49ers. And I'm already inclined to take the 49ers. So that works out to my advantage.
It's because Purdy's back. Purdy has
Well,
the
you know,
offense
and
going.
I was a little nervous about Purdy, but I mean, he showed up good last week. I think he can do the same here. Not to mention, this is the CMC revenge game against the Panthers.
Yeah, but how long ago was that?
Yeah, but still, I mean, he spent a
He's been on
lot
the
of
Panthers
years
in
there.
like 3 years.
He
4
spent.
years.
This is the first time they're playing. He spent a
Is it
lot
the
of
first time?
years. Yeah. It is.
Interesting.
Since he last time the Panthers played the 49ers, CMC was a Panther.
Listen, I'm gonna make this pick on my side real quick. I want to take the 49ers here so bad. I like the 49ers. I like Brock Purdy. I think the 49ers are going to be a tough out in the playoffs. I feel like when I get this confident about a game, that it's going the other way. For all the reasons that you mentioned, 7 points is too much. I want to take the 49ers here, but I'm going to pick the Panthers. The Panthers, I think, are the right side on this game.
Panthers not as good on the road. They did win last week.
I'll give you 4 teams to play together, right?
Oh.
The Rams, the Panthers, the Titans, the Giants.
Oh, I'm on the opposite side of all 4 of those.
Play those 4.
Wow.
That's why I'm going to have a better week than you because of those 4 games.
All right. All right. So that'll do it for us for week 12. Now, next week is Thanksgiving week, week 13. We will not do a podcast for the 3 Thanksgiving games. We will be back in our normal.
If you follow us on
Time
Facebook,
slot.
though, be on the lookout for a couple picks via Facebook on the Married with Picks Facebook page.
So if you're watching, like, subscribe. Feel free to leave comments. Give us your picks. And happy Thanksgiving. And we will see you next week. Peace out.
Football.